Assalamu alaikum everybody. You are watching AGS Talk Show with Urba and Laraba.
Where voices begin and stories unfold.
Today our guest is someone very special. She is loved by every student, whether a senior or a junior. चाहे वो स्कूल में हो या स्कूल से ग्रेजुएट हो चुके हो.
जो सिर्फ एक टीचर नहीं बल्कि एक ऐसी शख्सियत है जो हर स्टूडेंट के दिल में जिंदा रहती है.
She has a very remarkable loquacity and eloquence to herself.
She has a remarkable elegance, जिनके बोलने का तरीका सिर्फ समझाता नहीं बल्कि इंस्पायर भी करता है.
We are today really honored to have Miss Mehfara with us.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me your valuable time, and we are so excited to talk with you.
Thank you so much. Actually, it's all my pleasure to be talking to girlies like you two. So thank you so much.
Before we begin, we want to ask you, how was your day so far?
My day, actually, my day has been good, normal, just like any other day. I woke up in the morning, started preparing for school, then I came here, and then I had some classes, and then now we are talking. So it's been just like any other day, just a normal day.
Ma'am, let's go back to the beginning. We were having a talk with you a few days back talking about podcasts, and you said that you love literature even during school days. Your love for literature is very evident, but you still pursued science as your career. How did that happen? Why did you do this?
Actually, yes, I did pursue science as my career. I did my class 12 in PCBM, and thereafter I tried my luck in NEET examinations, and I gave it twice, but I couldn't crack it. Touchwood, I didn't crack it, because had I cracked that examination, I might not have been a very good doctor. Because to be very honest, I am scared of hospitals. I'm scared of even doctors. I hate the smell that's there in the hospitals. I'm allergic to the blood. So everything that's related to hospitals, I hate. I am actually scared. So I might not have been a good doctor. So touchwood, I didn't crack that NEET examination. And thereafter, I did my graduation in science only, because at that time, I did not have any other option. But when I did my graduation, after that, I said to my family, see, you wanted me to become a doctor, which I could not. So now I'll do what my heart wants. So that's when I turned to literature, and I did my post-graduation in literature.
Ma'am, what was the first book that truly stayed with you, and did someone introduce you to reading?
No, nobody actually introduced me to reading. It is my own thing. I have always loved reading. But the first book that stayed with me, see, I have started reading books at a very young age. I don't remember when did I actually start reading. But the first book that stayed with me will be hands down Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I know Urba will actually laugh over it, because this is the book that I recommended to Urba, and I said, okay, Urba, go and read it. And then she didn't like it. I don't know why. But Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen is my most favorite book and will stay with me forever and ever. There are a few reasons for liking that book. A, that's written by my favorite writer, Jane Austen. B, there are women characters showed in all her novels. It's not just about Pride and Prejudice. Every novel of hers, like Sense and Sensibility, Emma, there is Mansfield Park, Persuasion. Every novel of Jane Austen, you will see a women character who is very strong-headed, determined. She's very focused. She's very strong and independent. So I love the thing about Jane Austen, that she has put every woman character in a very positive way. So I love the thing about Pride and Prejudice, and also the themes, the domestic themes that she touched in her novels, particularly in Pride and Prejudice. So that's why Pride and Prejudice will stay with me forever, because written by my favorite writer.
Ma'am, reading Pride and Prejudice is not a cup of tea for everyone. I also have read it. It took me 3 months to read that book. And you said that it was your first book and you loved it. To read Pride and Prejudice, you need to have a very strong language. So does that mean you had a strong language since the beginning, since the little age?
No, I did not say that. I actually have read Pride and Prejudice 20 to 30 times. And I said you a few days back, when I gave you another novel to the Lighthouse, Virginia Woolf, you said, okay, I didn't get anything. But it happens, like when you read any book, any novel, any poem for the first time, you will understand nothing, or maybe 5 to 10%. So it happened with me also. When I read it first time, I didn't actually understand anything. But then I read it twice, thrice, 4, 5 times, and then I got to know what actually Jane Austen had penned down her beautiful thoughts. Today I'm actually obsessed with Jane Austen. I love her the most, and that is because of different things that she touched in her novels. And you will also agree with me now because yes,
Who is your favorite author and poet?
my favorite author. I was actually talking about her. My favorite author would be always Jane Austen, but there are a few other writers also. There is Virginia Woolf. I love her also. There is Emily Bronte, Wuthering Heights, one of my favorite novels. I love Emily Bronte also. There are many writers actually. There are a lot of poets. I love John Keats. I love P.B. Shelley. I love Robert Frost. William Wordsworth is there. S.T. Coleridge is there. I love all of them. But if it would be the first one, then it would be hands down Jane Austen.
Ma'am, now again coming back to Jane Austen, you said that Jane Austen, Virginia Woolf, Emily Bronte, these are your favorite writers. Do you think there is difference between male writers and female writers? As you are a female yourself, do you think there is different point of view that we get to see?
Actually, there is. I mean, you can see the women dominance in the novels written by the women. You can see the characters are actually the lead characters are women, and they are very strong-headed, which I actually said you earlier. And I love the thing about women of that time because these novels were written a long time ago. I remember one thing about this. There is this episode about this. There is this novel written by George Eliot. I don't remember this time the name of the novel, but the writer is George Eliot. Actually, her real name was Mary Ann Evans. But at that point of time, people did not actually read works written by women. They were like, okay, women, what do they write? They don't write something which will be worth reading. So they didn't actually enjoy writings of women, and women were considered really low in the sense that what can they write? They don't have such vocab or such potential or such capacity. And George Eliot, as in Mary Ann Evans, she was so focused, she was so determined that I have to write this novel, and she changed her name. She changed her name from female to a male name, George Eliot, so that my novel would be published, it would be read, it would be liked, and that happened at that time.
What kind of student were you, and do you see that same version of yourself in anybody of your student today?
Yeah, actually, I was a very bright student. I'm not actually flaunting here or anything, but I was a very bright student in my school, in my college. I used to take part in debates and declamation competitions. I used to top my class, my school. I used to be the head girl of my school. I was a very nice student. And coming to the reflection wala thing, I think I see my reflection in the both of you. Because you are actually way clever and way witful than me. So I see my reflection in both of you.
Ma'am, has literature changed your perspective or you as a person?
Yes, actually, literature has changed me and my perspective. I would say in a very subtle way. I mean, but I would say, yeah, there is this thing that after actually coming to the literature thing, now I see things in a very different way. I'm more balanced. I look at things very differently. I have become very strong-headed now. I have learned to control my emotions now, rather balance my emotions now. But I would say every novel, every work, every poem that I read, every novel adds actually something to me, teaches me something. For example, when I read Pride and Prejudice, that novel actually taught me that you cannot judge somebody very quickly. You need not to judge anybody very quickly. And second thing that the novel taught me was you should not come with a preconceived notion about anybody, which we saw in the novel itself. So, for example, if I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, that novel taught me actually love without understanding can be very destructive. So all I want to say is that every novel, every work that I read actually added something and taught me something which actually changed me or evolved me as a person and changed my perspective as well.
And what, according to you, make a teacher truly great, not just academically but overall?
I think teacher has a lot of responsibilities. It's not just academics only. Teacher cannot be bound to the classrooms only. Teacher has a very, very, very big role in shaping student in like every possible way. Like teacher should actually uh, come out of the classrooms, have a conversation with students like I used to do. I love to talk to my students outside my class. I love to actually know them, what they think, what they want with their life. And a good teacher actually does not restrict himself to the classrooms only. He comes out, he talks to the kids individually, he tries to know them, and in this way I think teacher actually becomes a great teacher.
Ma'am, coming back to the teacher question, we want to know how did you came to the fields of education?
See, I have always wanted to become a teacher. I mean, I know a lot of people will be there who will actually disagree with this thing. They'll say, okay, she actually wanted to become anything, and when she could not become that, she came to the field of. This is actually very wrong. I mean, being a teacher, I know that this is the thing that I've always wanted to do. I have always wanted to become a teacher because I belong to the family of teachers. My one of my aunt is a teacher. She's been a great teacher. I have learned a lot from her. My elder sister is a teacher. She's a very, 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 I mean, amazing teacher. My elder brother is a teacher. So I belong to the family of teachers, and I have grown up looking up to these teachers. And there was always this thing that I will become a teacher. Yes, that science thing, yes, my family wanted me to become a doctor, but I never wanted to become a doctor. I always wanted to become a teacher, and I am a teacher, and I feel proud that I am a teacher and I get to teach students.
Ma'am, if you are comfortable, can you please recite 2 lines from your favorite poems?
Actually, there are a lot of favorite poems. There is Kubla Khan by S.T. Coleridge. I love that poem. There is Rabbi bin Izra written by Robert Browning. That's also my most favorite. There are a lot of poems written by Keats and Shelley. My favorite. There are a lot of poems written by Wordsworth. My favorite, particularly Daffodils. But my most favorite poet would be Robert Frost, hands down. I love the language. I love the way he actually put things in a very simpler way before us. And there are a lot of poems written by him which I love. Actually, I connect with his poems. The Road Not Taken is there, Mending Wall is there, Birds is there. But my most favorite would be Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. I don't remember the whole poem, but I do remember the last 2 lines. So the lines are, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Actually, I connect with this poem because this poem tells us that everybody, every person in this world loves to rest, loves to be at peace, but you have to move on in your life. You have to carry forward your things. You can't be in the rest mode all the time. So that's why I love this poem.
And do you believe students today are more expressive and more confused?
I think both. Depending on the situations they are in, they can be expressive in situations, they can be confused in situations, depending on the situations. But I think students today are more capable. They can handle all the situations very positively.
Ma'am, now coming back again at you, you are also a very remarkable singer. How did that journey begin? Do you like singing? And could you please tell us what your favorite song is?
Singing, I don't know if I am a good singer, but I love to sing. I love to listen to the music. Actually, my elder sister, she used to sing when I was very young, and I saw her singing, and then I actually started singing also. So there are a lot of favorite songs, but I have to sing a song here.
Only if you want.
Okay, I don't mind. So there is this song. I would love to sing 2 lines. जिसका जितना हो आंचल यहाँ पर, उसको सौगात उतनी मिलेगी. ला 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 ला. जिसका जितना हो आंचल यहाँ पर, उसको सौगात उतनी मिलेगी, फूल जीवन में गर ना खिले तो कांटों से भी निभाना पड़ेगा। जिंदगी प्यार का गीत है, इसे हर दिल को गाना पड़ेगा।
I deserve such love. Choosing a path other than teaching and literature, what would it have been?
It would have been, I think, music. I would have chosen music if not literature and teaching, then music definitely.
Well, as I said in the introduction, that you are loved by every student, whether a junior, senior, चाहे school में graduate हो चुके हो. How do you maintain that bond with your students?
See, there is very simple thing about me as a teacher is I don't want and I don't like to be a strict teacher. I have never been. You can actually agree with this thing. You will agree with this thing. I have never been a strict teacher because there is this work written by Roger Ascham, I think, is the writer, and he has written a work called Schoolmaster. That's a very earlier work, and in that work he said that if a teacher has to be strict, if a teacher has to punish his students in order to have a discipline or balance in the class, then he is not a successful teacher. So that's a very earlier work, and I have read it some 10 to 12 years before my teaching career actually began. So that thing always was there in my head when I joined this school. This is the first school that I joined as a teacher, and I'm still here. So that thing was always there in my mind. If any time I had to be strict with students just to manage discipline in the class, then I'm not a successful teacher. So I try to be very friendly. I try to teach in a very friendly way, and I think I'm very successful in that thing. I never actually try to impose things on students. I love to actually keep very positive environment in the class, and in that way I think I am successful.
Yes, you are. From outside academics and literature, what kind of person are you?
I am a very I'm not social. I'm not at all social. I have no friends. I don't actually sit with my family that much. I try to be with myself because I feel uh, uh, I'm very comfortable when I'm with myself only. I think I have social anxiety. I don't know exactly if I have social anxiety or not, but I don't like to socialize with people a lot. I don't talk to so many people. There is just my family and my few relatives and the two of you. I talk to both of you so much. I connect. Actually, I connect with you, and there are actually few people in my life actually who I actually gel with a lot, who I have a strong bond with, and that includes you too also. So I think I'm not that socially active.
As you said that you're not socially that active and you like to be alone, do you think solitude is important for one person?
It depends. It actually depends on every individual. Like some people are there who are very socially active, who actually feel anxiety when they are in the solitude. And there are people like me who love to be in themselves, and I am one of those. And I think for me, solitude is the best thing. You get to know yourself. Different thoughts, different ideas come to your mind. You actually learn to balance things when you are in solitude.
And if students could give you a nickname, what do you think it would be?
Nickname? I think what should be it like exactly about?
How do you want to be nicknamed?
Nicknamed?
Yes.
I don't like my name that much. I think my name should be broken. The starting MEH should be cut, and the remaining PARA should be there. So Para.
Yes.
Para is my most favorite thing.
Yes. Ma'am, as new students come in and your old students go away, do you miss your students?
I do. I do actually. There are a lot of students who will always remain in my heart. That includes your elder sister also, okay? She is one of my most favorite students, and she will remain in my heart forever. And there are a lot of students who will remain with me. I cannot name all of them, but yes, there are. And I love I love those students who are actually very positive in their behavior. I love positive things about students.
In your opinion, how important is the bond between a teacher and a student?
Very important, very important. I think 100% I'll give. The first thing that a teacher should actually do entering the classroom is making a bond with the students. Nothing is possible without the bond, and I think bond is very important.
Ma'am, now we have a fun segment in our podcast, in our talk show actually, and we would like to also introduce.
I'm relaxed now.
Okay.
Okay.
So we will give you this or that, and you have to choose one.
Okay.
First is science or English.
English,
Anytime.
anytime.
Novels or poems.
No, so that's tough. That's really tough. I love both the genres, but novels because of Jane Austen.
Okay, Jane Austen or Emily Bronte.
Jane Austen.
Okay. Urva or Larva.
Oh my God, I can never answer this question. Okay, and I will never. The both of you. I love the both of you.
अगर आपको कहीं डिनर पे जाना हो और आपका मूड बहुत खराब हो या फिर आपका मूड ठीक हो जाए, आप कैसे सर के साथ जाओगे, रील सर के साथ?
Oh my God, that's really tough. See, I respect both of. I have a huge respect for both of them. But Kaisa sir is more like an elder brother, and I would never want to go to a dinner with him because he's a brotherly figure for me. Dinner, definitely Ray sir. He's more fun, so I would love to go with him.
I think everybody would do Ray sir. Being friendly or being strict.
Friendly,
Anytime.
anytime.
Okay. And I think this is something that parents, students, everybody wants to know. As Mr. Sir is our principal and he's also your brother, how is your bond with Mr. Sir?
Actually, we have two different sides now. When we are home, we are siblings, and we are actually 5 siblings. Out of the 5, we two actually gel a lot. We have a very strong bond, and we share a very amazing bond. We share everything with each other. We have a very nice bond. When it comes to school, I don't know what happens. He becomes the most scary person for me. Whenever I see him in the school, in the ground, or anywhere, I try to hide because I don't know what happens. School, it is different. Here, he is my principal, and he remains in that thing. And when we go home, everything becomes normal, and he's my brother, my friend. So two different things.
So I hope ma'am you had fun with this conversation.
I had actually, because I said earlier, I have a very strong with both of you, and I love to talk to you every time, and I would love to actually meet again, talk again.
I hope you get this opportunity.
This is me, Lariba, Urva, and also Man, signing off from Aegis Section. And stay tuned for the next exciting video.
Thanks, have a good day ahead. Bye.